Hey everyone. So this will be my third and final video for the day of Sunday, the 26th of February. And it's not music related, but just to get started, I will show you that what I'm listening to in the background. I have a pile, new records I buy, all the ones on the shelf, and a pile of the ones that I've had that I really want to spend more time getting to know. And this is part of that last pile. Lucene Michaels, Turning Point. It's really cool. Interesting singer-songwriter. Says good things. And it's on Koinonia Records, which is out of Illinois. So enjoy it. Now, what I want to get to, bring this up, I remember some things. Oscars. Did you guys all watch the Oscars? I hope you guys all enjoyed it if you watched it. You know, for some reason, with other stuff going on in my life, I didn't get around to it last year. I just sort of fell out of the game, you know. I'm still feeling a little bit out of the game, but, you know, it was exciting this year around. I was really excited, and then, you know, some background more on me. I'm actually a film major. I graduated with a degree in cinema from SUNY Binghamton in upstate New York, one of the state schools. Great school too. I had a blast there. My first year I went to a school called Wagner, which is a private college in Staten Island. Then I moved for a couple different reasons. Came to upstate New York in Binghamton, went to SUNY Binghamton after a year being undecided. Much better school and much lower price, to be honest with you. Private schools aren't always worth it depending on where you're going. And I just took my first cinema class, just intro to cinema. And I just, you know, my second year in college, I never looked at film that way before, you know? So I took the cinema class and I was like, wow, this is really cool stuff, you know? This is really exciting, this is fun. And to be honest with you, I just thought to myself, like, I'm the type of guy that would just want to, you know, be happy-go-lucky and, you know, take classes on the things that he has fun with that are really interesting and a fun time rather than just taking business courses. You know, now I'm in this job situation, which, I mean, a lot of people still are, even if they have degrees in business or accounting or something, but that's just not, maybe I made the wrong decision, but I had a fun time in school. My classes were amazing, so I decided to go for a degree in film. I'm more into the actual study of film rather than making films. Like, I took a couple classes I had to take as requirements and made some films of my own, and there's one or two that I'm pretty proud of. But I'm not really a guy who's all about needing to be behind the camera and being hands-on. I'm a guy who would rather like to, you know, pick films that I'm like, these films are amazing, that will blow you away, and then show them to a class, and then get into some real good discussions. But, you know, being a professor, it takes a PhD, which takes years and years and money, so I just didn't continue it. But, you know, I think since this vinyl thing, you know, I feel like it's become a big thing, and it's sort of taken me away from the movies recently and the films, and, you know, TV shows do that too, because I got really into my TV shows. But anyway, I'm blabbering on. Me and Mary saw two films this year that were fantastic, that did really well tonight. We saw Hugo, which is an amazing film. I'm a big Scorsese fan, so, you know, it was really, I always look forward to seeing his stuff. You know, I loved his last film. I thought Shutter Island was incredible too. I have it on Blu-ray. It's just really eerie and really interesting piece. Love it. And, you know, Hugo is just a whole other world of its own, man. You know, it's an amazing piece. And, you know, then we saw The Artist, you know, and we actually saw The Artist on my birthday. And Mary took me as a gift, and amongst going to a restaurant and whatnot, and I didn't even know about it. Like I said, like, I've been really out of touch with the game, the movie, the film game, the cinema world. So, you know, and then I was like, wow, this is amazing. You know, The Artist is the silent film that was made just this year in 2011 from this French director. Now, getting to the Oscars the were really fun. I really enjoyed sitting down. Me and Mary watched most of it together, and it was just fun to really, you know, it's, you know, there's nothing classier. You know, there's nothing more glamorous and classy than seeing the Oscars. 84 years, you know, it's 84th year. Billy Crystal's his 9th time doing it. Actually, an interesting fact too, Billy Crystal and his brothers, they grew up in Long Beach, New York, which is my town in Long Island, so They were like, you think they were like 5 years older than my mom, so like they were 5 years ahead of my mom in high school. But you know, yeah, Billy Crystal and his family went to my high school. But yeah, he did a really good job. He was funny, you know. It's a good, clean type of funny, and you know, it's great stuff. No, I'm sorry, I'm sort of like, you know, I'm sort of winging it and thinking about this stuff because there's a lot of things that went on, but I love all the pieces that they do in between things, like the honorary awards. He did a section that was dedicated to this really famous makeup artist who did a lot of work on big films like The Godfather, and then involved also was James Earl Jones and Oprah Winfrey, and that was a really touching segment. There's another particular segment that was really touching where they had these, you know, different actors sort of talking about, you know, why it is they do what they do and what they love about their films, and that was really, really great stuff to see. You know, in terms of the awards, man, like, you just can't beat some of these great moments, you know, touching moments. I haven't seen a lot of the films, but now I really am excited to really catch up. I was behind the game this time, and, you know, I'm going to try to jump on it. Like, you know, Mary saw The Help. I never saw The Help, but she loved it, and I never read the book either, but, you know, the actress that won for supporting actress, like, when you see the way that she was up there, man, she was really into her stuff, and she was crying, and she was really touched by it. You know, that's a great thing to see, man. It's a great thing to witness. It's just a loving moment. I'm trying to think of other things. You know, there's some funny moments, too. I was cracking up. One thing in the beginning that I thought was hilarious was Chris Rock's my boy, you know, and it's really funny. You know, did anyone notice his ridiculous hair? It's just like a few inches, like a few 4 or 5 inches, like off his head, and it just looks like it straight up looks like New Jack City or something. It just looks like really old school, and I was like, man, this dude's getting old now. He looks so funny with that hairstyle. But they were doing this little interview with him right before the show started, and they were cutting him off, and he was leaving. You know how, like, in the red carpet, all the people talk about what clothing they were wearing and whatnot. Your boy Chris Rock says he's like, last second, he's like leaving. He's just like, by the way, I'm wearing FUBU, and I just thought that was hilarious. I was just laughing out loud in my living room, and like Mary didn't even catch it, but I don't know if she would laugh like I would about that. But I thought that was really funny. There's some moments I'm sort of forgetting, but you know, talking about the awards, you know, Hugo is a great film, but what I'm really excited to talk about, that I feel like really says a lot about cinema and film today and the Academy and what the future can bring and aesthetic is talking about The Artist. You know, like, have you guys seen The Artist? The Artist is this amazing movie that is a black and white silent film that was just made in 2011, and you know, it's so crazy because, you know, I got to experience this. Like, I went to an independent theater called Manor Theater in Charlotte. Me and Mary went to, and like, when was the last time that you were able to go into a movie theater in this day and age and see a silent film with a group of people, full theater, and experience that experience that you would never get unless you were back in, you know, the 20s, late 20s. And it was great stuff, man. I wasn't, you know, obviously I've seen, you know, I'm experienced with seeing, you know, foreign films, silent films. So I'm not like one of those people that doesn't watch like old stuff, you know. So it was nothing hard for me. I was really engaged, and it was a very touching thing to see, you know. And man, they took Best Director, the guy took Best Actor, and they took Best Picture. You know, the actor actually won the Palme d'Or at Cannes and the Golden Globes. The Palme d'Or obviously speaks volumes, but you know, I mean, this is a French guy winning his first Oscar, and he's winning in a silent film that's in black and white in America. You know, like, it just sort of thinks to me like it's almost like a social experiment when you're in the theater watching the film, because you're around and you're watching people and you're like, you hear like how people respond, everything that they you know, you hear the laughs, you hear the crunching on food, you know, everyone's engaged, and you look around. I saw little kids watching this movie enjoying themselves, like 10-year-olds engaged. And I was like, man, this is great stuff. And you know, it's just if we can go back in time and go to a silent film era and bring a movie out today, but then touch it up with these nice, you know, new things, like, you know, if there's CGI involved or different types of music involved. You know, in the film it actually does some sort of playing around with the idea of sound versus no sound. There's like little sound, and the actor actually says like a full like 2 words at the very end of the film, you know. But I mean, like, the film is about a silent film actor who goes through the same thing that lots of other silent film actors went through in real life, where all of a sudden the talkies came around, and then, you know, people weren't the silent film actors. A lot of them lost their careers and, you know, weren't really loved anymore because they just didn't work well as being people who talked. And this guy goes through that. So while he's a big silent film actor, the actress who's the main actress in the film is a rising star, and she gets big into the talkies while he gets really bad and starts losing all of his... It's like a vet that goes away while the amateur and the freshman rises up. And meanwhile, they have this relationship with one another, and he gets depressed and gets really low, and they form this relationship. So it's about the era of the film that you're actually watching right there. So it's like a film within the film in a way. You know, it's really cool stuff. So, I mean, imagine, like, you know how there's like always this really cool different types of movements in either music or, you know, a lot in film. You know, there's different movements across the world. If we started seeing a nice movement of some, like, you know, directors today, or directors deciding after seeing this Best Picture won and what the audience it can bring and what it can do for film, and they decide to take silent film, and then all of a sudden you start seeing some other new silent films being pressed out. Man, like, wouldn't that just speak volumes to see silent films come back? You know, I mean, like, that's just crazy. That's a glorious thing. So I was pretty impressed by it, man. I mean, you know, I remember when I first saw it, I thought, you know, it is, but obviously aesthetic that makes it good, so I don't know if it should win Best Picture. I thought, you know, Hugo's great, Hugo should win. But I was rooting for it tonight. I started realizing that, like, it's just worth making the statement. You know what I mean? It's worth making a statement of what can happen and what film can do when a silent film wins in 2012. You know? So, congratulations, man. Good for them. Meryl Streep won. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of her work, but it doesn't make it any less fun to watch her. She's so damn classy, you know, just like the award itself. So good for her. Even though I was really hoping, even though I didn't see the movie, I saw the clips and I was just like, I thought Michelle Williams should have just won. Sorry about that. I thought Michelle Williams should have just gone ahead and just won for the Marilyn Monroe thing, because she looked great and she was great in Shutter Island. But I'm going to wrap it up. I'm sure my time's about to end. But, you know, lots of movies I want to see that I never got to see. I told you I was really out of it this year. I got to catch up and get back in the game. Me and Mary have been doing a lot of TV shows, and I've been doing a lot of music, so I haven't just found the time. But I want to see Moneyball. I love Jonah Hill. I think he's great. I love Brad Pitt, so I would love to see them in that role together and film together and see how that goes. Really want to see A Week with Marilyn, the one that Michelle Williams is for. Meryl Streep won for The Iron Lady, which is about this woman who is involved with, I think she's a prime minister for the United Kingdom. The documentary that won looked really interesting, called Undefeated, about something with football related. And then the foreign film called A Separation looked really good. I used to really know my foreign films every year when they came up to the top 5 for the awards. So yeah, I hope you guys have fun. Great night, man. Love watching the Oscars. It's my ceremony. I'm not really a Grammys guy. You know, I just don't really care about seeing the Grammys except maybe seeing performances on YouTube. So Grammys isn't necessarily my thing, but Oscars are. So cheers to the Oscars, and yeah, check out The Artist, man. Check out Hugo, and I'll let you know when I see the other stuff. Take care, guys.